While some politicians call the president of a defending country a dictator, the real dictator Putin quietly rejoices at such statements from his bunker and continues to aggressively advance on Ukrainian territory. Every day, Russian troops continue to attack Ukrainian territory along the entire front line. At the same time, Ukrainian defenders are doing their best to hold back the enemy, risking their lives for the sake of Ukraine's freedom. A Russian tank was on its way to storm Ukrainian positions near Makivka, Luhansk region. But an unpleasant surprise awaited them on the way. They hit a Ukrainian anti-tank mine and exploded. From the mine's detonation, the Russian tank caught fire and after some time exploded. Another assault by Russian troops took place using 2 MTLBs. They were spotted by a reconnaissance drone and targeted by Ukrainian artillery and kamikaze drones. After their vehicles were hit, the Russians lost control and were forced to make an emergency disembarkation in one of the forest strips. The attempted offensive failed. Also in the Luhansk region, Russians in 3 armored vehicles were heading toward a Ukrainian settlement. Their movement was detected by Ukrainian aerial reconnaissance, after which the pilots of the kamikaze drones engaged them in combat. Russian armored vehicles were successfully destroyed. Ukrainian pilots of the Magyar Birds detected and attacked a Russian multiple rocket launcher system Grad. Such targets are difficult to detect because they are far from the front line. Another Grad, always a sweet target for Ukrainian drone pilots. And this one was fully loaded. Hitting it could create fireworks no worse than those in Hollywood movies. And this is the Russian rear. This self-propelled artillery unit is hidden in a combat position, ready to fire at Ukrainian positions, but it will no longer be able to do so. Self-propelled artillery unit successfully destroyed. Another similar artillery unit is camouflaged by carpets, but there is no hiding from drone pilots. Russian infantry fighting vehicle, very commonly used by Russian troops. One deep penetration inside and it is on fire. Another infantry fighting vehicle, also destroyed by a deep strike. Another Russian armored personnel carrier abandoned by the Russians after a mine explosion. And here, Ukrainian drone pilots discovered a well-camouflaged brand new Russian T-90 tank, the pride of the Russian dictator. Kamikaze drone pilots began targeting it with precise strikes. After the drone attack, the tank can be seen starting to catch fire. Now you will be able to see the comments from the Russian crew of this tank who survived and are inspecting the metal fragments left from the tank. This is the K2 Battalion, which defends Ukrainian territory from Russian invaders at the border of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. One of the assaults is happening right now. The enemy, taking advantage of natural conditions, the dense fog, is trying to get closer to Ukrainian positions. The reconnaissance drone continuously monitors the movement of Russian armored vehicles and foot assault groups. Ukrainian artillerymen open fire, attempting to hit the Russian armored vehicles. Kamikaze drone pilots are also already approaching Russian armored personnel carriers and are ready to strikes. After being hit, the armored personnel carrier starts to smoke but continues to move. A kamikaze drone operator flies to finish off a downed Russian armored personnel carrier. Another assault group of Russian troops on armored vehicles deployed smokescreens to allow another column of armored vehicles to pass through. Ukrainian artillery continues shelling. Meanwhile, the Russians on armored personnel carriers confidently head towards the drop-off point for infantry. Russian infantrymen landed, and Ukrainian artillery began active shelling. The reconnaissance drone tracks the movement of Russian infantry across the field. On the other side, a Russian tank with trawl is clearing the road for the future passage of armored vehicles. A Ukrainian kamikaze drone has already flown to stop it. Artillery is also attacking, but it misses. Russian assault troops on motorcycles appear on the horizon. Russian assault troops are getting closer to Ukrainian positions. Here, the enemy infantry disembarks from the armored personnel carrier right up close to the positions of the K2 Battalion. Russian infantry is advancing towards the building where Ukrainian troops are stationed. A firefight begins. Ukrainian drone operators also join the fight, covering Ukrainian infantrymen. The Russian assault group was neutralized. Fierce fighting at the front continues every day. If you would like to help the Ukrainian military, I leave the link to support the K2 Battalion and the Magyar Birds Brigade in the description. This video was prepared by Hustler. Subscribe to the channel. See you soon.